I am so excited to welcome you not only to Jacksonville, but to the launching of the podcast called The Covenant, more specifically, the Sistah Covenant. And yes, I did say sister. What is the covenant, the Sistah Covenant? It is a circle of friends, my friends for 20, 30, 40 plus years, your friends, all of our friends, coming together in a safe space at a time such as this. We as women of color, we are counted on to nurture our families, our children, our significant others, our spouses, our community, our corporate boardrooms, and everything in between. But who fills our cup? I think about flying, and when we get ready to take off, what is said to us first? Put your oxygen mask on first before you can assist others. And that exactly is what the Sistah Covenant is all about. A safe space to encourage, to listen, to cry a little, laugh a lot, but most important, to empower and to fill our cup. Good morning. Great Sunday morning, and we welcome you to the 27th episode or podcast of the Sistah Covenant. As we are in our 11th month, praise the Lord, and we are fast forwarding to our 1 year anniversary. We are just so appreciative. And we just can't thank you enough for all of your love, your support, and all of your encouragement during these past 11 months. It has been simply amazing. So, as always, we want to thank you for supporting us with our Sistah Covenant merchandise. And if you've not had a moment to get that merchandise, there it is right there on the screen. You too can still get your Sistah Covenant merchandise. I was in Savannah, Georgia a few days this week and was proudly wearing my Sistah Covenant t-shirt and mask and baseball cap. And I got all kinds of stares and folks asking where could they purchase theirs. So just go to the sistahcovenant.com, click on apparel, and as you know, if you spend over $100, $10 will go directly to UNCF. I am so excited because later this month we will again welcome a dear friend of mine, Gwen Hewitt, to the Sistah Covenant, and we are going to announce a awesome partnership with UNCF. So stay tuned for that. Also, we encourage you, if you've not already done so, to take the 25 challenge. The 25 challenge is our opportunity and your opportunity to post a picture or a video on why you got vaccinated using the hashtags Powerful Women Get Vaccinated. Together we win. Tag the Sistah Covenant and 3 of your friends, at least 3, but I know you have at least 300 women that you want to encourage to get vaccinated. The Sistah Covenant promotes healthy hygiene, masking, and getting the vaccination. Ladies, if you have not joined us in the after conversation, you have certainly been missing a treat. How do you join the Sistah Circle after the podcast? Open Facebook on your phone or your computer, search the Sistah Covenant, find the Groups tab, and click on Groups titled the Sistah Circle. Click Join Group, and it is just that simple. So we encourage you. We have two powerful women on our panel this morning that will be joining us in the after conversation. And as you know, we don't always unpack everything during the 1 hour. It's just not enough time. So please join us on the other side this morning for some additional rich and empowering conversation. So now I have the pleasure of introducing to you a new friend that I've made who is making a difference every day in the life of young people and students right in the state of Florida. And I would submit all across the country. Dr. Shante Friday Stroud. Dr. Shante Friday Stroud is the Vice President for University Advancement and the Executive Director at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, FAMU, and the FAMU Foundation. The SBI program is a powerful, powerful program, and it has a long, rich history. I had an opportunity to sit down with Dr. Friday Stroud a couple of weeks ago, and I want to share our conversation with you now. It is my pleasure to bring to the Sistah Covenant a awesome educator and a good friend, Dr. Shante Friday Stroud. Dr. Shante Friday Stroud is the Vice President for University Advancement and Executive Director of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University Foundation. She is also the Dean and Professor of Management in the School of Business and Industry. Welcome, Shante, Dr. Friday Stroud. How are you?
I am so well. And Pat, thank you so much, one, for inviting me to participate. I am so honored. And thank you for having me on today as a guest. I am just truly excited to share more information about Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University and the School of Business and Industry.
So FAMU on the Hill. So I have to be transparent. As you know, I attended that other school on the other side of town, or right across the tracks. It's not on the other side of town, Florida State University, but spent some wonderful time and some good days over on the one of seven of the highest hills in Tallahassee, as you guys would say, over at FAMU. And back in the day, SBI, Dean Mobley, Dr. Humphreys, who we just lost the last 60 days, an icon. SBI, that is the program that is Covenant, and students all around this country have flourished through that program. So tell us about SBI and what all it offers to your students and to our world, because it has been just that iconic.
Well, thank you so much, Pat, for asking that question. And again, as you say, we share the same city, right? So in addition to being the dean of the School of Business and Industry, I attended Florida A&M University. So as you said, right across the tracks from Florida State. And as we say, we still have love for all of the students in Tallahassee, regardless of the university. But as a student at Florida A&M University, I was, prior to becoming one, I was recruited by Dean Mobley. And when I think about how she spent her time and energy creating opportunities for students to ensure their success, and ironically, she used to say that once all the SBIans that graduated, and that's what we call ourselves, those that graduate or attend SBI or SBIans, that we would be a force to be reckoned with. And her rationale for that was because she knew that she was preparing us to be able to excel, whether it be in corporate America, whether it be in entrepreneurship or in any other industry. But at the end of the day, she was giving us the tools and the skill sets that we needed to flourish. So just very thankful. She started the school in 1974. And it is just, I've tried to make sure that not only do we carry out the legacy, but that we continue to innovate such that the students that we bring in today not only are prepared for what's happening today, but that they're prepared to be able to manage through whatever happens in the future. And I actually told our students last year when we got hit with this COVID-19 pandemic that they were actually built for such a time as this. And they showed it through and through, in that they continue to stay not only active, but they excelled in everything that they were doing. So just really, really thankful and appreciative. And so I tell them that, if they follow our plan that we have prescribed for them, that's their academics, their internships, and our professional leadership development program, that they will be successful. I tell them my favorite quote is, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. It's an equation, them plus us. They put in the time to prepare. We put in the work to create the opportunities. And when you marry the two together, it's their luck or really their success.
Just a couple of weeks ago, we had one of your students, one of your best and brightest, Sydney Clark. And I know you attended FAMU with her parents. So that is the legacy in real time. She's doing phenomenally well, as you well know, in Washington, D.C. So talk to our audience about the model, what you just said, planning, meeting preparation, and internships, putting in the work. What do you say to that parent out there, that parent of maybe a senior in high school that's contemplating, I need to apply to this school and I want to apply to this prestigious school? Why would they put FAMU on that list to include if they are majoring in business?
So again, thank you for that question, Pat. I would say that FAMU should be their institution of choice, and that the School of Business and Industry specifically should be their major of choice and where they attend. And I say that because, again, it's a three-pronged approach that we take. It's the academic preparation that you're going to get anywhere. And then you layer that with our professional leadership development, which is our internal lab, where we prepare our students to be able to have the business acumen that they need to navigate successfully in any environment, whether it be a corporate environment or whether it be in an entrepreneurial environment. And then we put them to work in corporations such that they are gaining that real world experience. So now they take what they've learned in the classroom, what they've applied in our internal lab, and then they put it to work in the external lab at that company. And they are then many times, and the goal is that they're able to secure at least that job opportunity from that internship. And what I tell our students is this: you have to put in the time and the work. But if you do the work, what I promise them is if they earn a 3.0 to a 3.49 GPA, they will walk out of school with at least 3 to 5 job offers. If they finish with a 3.5 or higher, they will walk out with at least 5 to 7 job offers. And they have the opportunity to make upwards of $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 coming out with a bachelor's degree. And if they layer our MBA on top of that, they are then just able to soar faster because they have earned the degrees earlier. They accumulate less debt by earning it earlier, and then they're able to excel in their careers faster. And so it's that preparation. It is the working through our system, staying dedicated and focused. If they put in the time, if they put in the all of the effort, they will reap the rewards. And I say, you will get out of SBI what you put into it. We work really hard to create opportunities for them. And Sydney is a prime, I mean, just a prime example of that. She came in, she was serious about her studies from the very beginning. She had internships like coming out as a freshman and a sophomore. She actually secured her first job offer by the time she was a junior. So her senior year, everything else that all the other offers that she received after that, they were gravy on top. Just imagine how that feels in your junior year, knowing that you have a full-time job offer at a very nice salary that will set you up for success. And that's what we do for our students. We try to set them up for success.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Iris Young Clark, to you, and to your entire team. I think it's important that we share this information. And again, I've been transparent. I attended Florida State, and I have a son right now that attends Florida State. But you better believe, I tell him, you get over to FAMU, you go to those career fairs, and Dr. Iris Clark has been so helpful in helping him navigate what you just said, because as an HR professional for over 25 years, I know that companies come to HBCUs. My oldest son graduated from Hampton, so I understand the relevance. What do you say to our audience out there that may feel, oh, we don't have to go to an HBCU, or HBCUs are no longer relevant? What's your thoughts around that, and what's your messaging there?
My thought around that is that's the furthest thing from the truth. HBCUs have been rooted and grounded in the fact that we not only provide attention to, but we have an expectation for excellence in our students. We nurture our students like none other. They get one-on-one attention. They are not a number. They are a person. So I know Sydney Clark, right? I know my students because we put the time in to make sure that they are prepared. They are not just a number, not just a person attending classes. And if they don't show up, nobody's looking for them. If students don't show up to our classes, we start calling. We start saying, hey, what's going on? And so that if there are issues, we can help them navigate through those issues such that they can be successful. And to your point, I can't take credit for all the success that our students in SBI have. There is a team of us, from the faculty to the staff. And as you mentioned, Dr. Iris Young Clark, they do an amazing job of making sure that our students are prepared and that they're finding opportunities. And truth be told, Pat, as you know, companies come to HBCUs looking for top diverse talent. And we actually have way more job opportunities than we have students to fill them. And so if you're wondering if HBCUs are relevant or not, I will tell you that they are. Prior to COVID-19 and the social unrest that we've been experiencing here in the country, we were managing corporate relationships, over 100 corporate relationships. Since that time, we are tracking upwards of 200 companies that are literally trying to figure out how can they come to Florida A&M University, the School of Business and Industry, to gain access to our top talent. So if a student comes to us, I can guarantee you that if they put in the work, they will have multiple opportunities from which to choose, not just one, because they are just that much in demand. And I can't say that necessarily for all the other students. I can give you just a personal example. My niece attended FSU, likely because her aunt was a dean of SBI and she chose not to come. But by the end of her senior year, one of her friends over at Florida State, he had actually started our MBA program. And so he was like, hold up, you're related to Dr. Friday Stroud and you're not at SBI? Like, what's wrong with you? Do you know how many job opportunities we have? Do you know how many internship opportunities we get? And next thing I know, on her own, she actually applied to our MBA program. And so what I will say for you, for your child, it's not too late, right? You can still come over and get an MBA from us. We offer it on campus, and then we actually even have an online MBA. So you don't even have to be in Tallahassee. to come. We do want you to have work experience, but we have ways that we can help students, regardless of what your undergraduate degree was in or from, that we can still help you get there. And so, but when she came to SBI, she graduated with like a 3.8, 3.9 GPA, but she didn't have any job opportunities. She came over to our MBA program, and she walked out with a job from one of the top 4 public accounting firms. And so I just say our relevance is undeniable, right? Because we have a track record of placing our students in high paying, high impact careers, not just jobs, but careers. And so I would say that if anybody is second guessing it, stop. You may as well just say, hey, come on and let me take part and gain my piece of success.
Thank you. I have your number, so you know we're going to be calling. Thank you so much, Dr. Friday Stroud. This was amazing. So we will have you back on the Sistah Covenant really soon.
Thank you so much. And I truly, truly appreciate you thinking of me, as well as Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University and the School of Business and Industry specifically. We really, really appreciate all that you are doing for everyone in our community, because it takes a village to raise all of us and to make sure that we are all in the know. And I am just so thankful and appreciative to you and the Sistah Covenant for creating this platform.
Thank you. Phenomenal woman, phenomenal program. So I implore and encourage every student out there, high school student. And as she said, it's not too late. Even if you are a current matriculating student or thinking about going back and getting your MBA, I would give FAMU, School of Business and Industry, a look-see, because that is an amazing program, and they nurture their students and put in and pour in all that is good so that it can blossom and be successful. An awesome conversation with, like I said, a newfound friend. And what I took away from that is put in the work, prepare, and you will be set up for success. So that message is for some young person, but it's for some parent out there that is still in this season of helping their young person prepare for college, complete those college applications. Well, give FAMU a look-see, and other HBCUs and PWIs. Those schools are out there. You got to do your research, but they have not only the academic rigor, but there are some dollars out there that you can tap into. So you may be following the chat, and there's some opportunities right there, sisters. So take advantage of it. Now, I am so excited. We are talking about careers. We're talking about setting ourselves up for success. And we're talking about power moves, financial moves, being empowered over your finances. So I'm so excited this morning to sit down and talk with two phenomenal women. Want to introduce our first guest of our panel, DeJuan Holmes. DeJuan Holmes is the founder of Global Institute of Church and Marketplace Profits, GICMP. Joining her this morning is a dear, dear forever friend of mine, Rosemary Wimbish. Rosemary is a speaker, an author, leader, trainer, SALT of Kairos International. I'll add to that a mother extraordinaire, a wife, and a very dear friend. Sisters, good morning. Good morning. Great Sunday morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning. It's so good to see you.
So good. And Rosemary, I'm trying to wear my pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because we know that is very important as well. And powerful women make sure that their bodies are well taken care of, and we're being a good steward of our body, and breast cancer awareness is a part of that. So ladies, you guys have an amazing resume, over 50 years combined of professional career transforming lives and being on point and on purpose, both of you. So your bios will live on the Sistah Covenant website, but I want to give you an opportunity to tell our audience, before we dive into this project that you all are collaborating on, tell us who we see before us this morning. I feel it's always important that the audience know the street cred that you bring to the Sistah Covenant. You're just not here, Rosemary, because you 30 years my friend. You're here because you have done some amazing work and you are still making a difference and transforming lives. So tell us who we see. I'll start with you, Dwan.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. My background is in TV news. I went to the University of Nebraska, Kearney, and I always tell people there are Black sisters in Nebraska, believe it or not. I was born in Winfield, but I went to Kearney, majored in broadcast journalism, and then I worked across the country as a TV news reporter and then TV news anchor. My last stop was Nashville, Tennessee, where I was awarded, the best TV news writer in the state. And then that same year, I lost my job. They didn't renew my contract, but it was really a blessing from God because I had started an ad agency. And then within 1 year of that, I was named one of Ebony Magazine's Future Leaders of America. And also we got nominated for a few Emmys and just lots of awards as it relates to media production, all of that great stuff. And then moved to Jacksonville to do ministry. And next thing you know, I'm creating or developing this Institute of Learning for prophetic voices, prophetic ministers, where we really help them learn how to profit in their purpose inside the church, outside the church, and what it really means to have a wealthy and healthy lifestyle, not just in finances, but also just in purpose and in life with family. We're all about, breaking dysfunctions and things that would hinder people from moving forward. We're all about helping people really walk in purpose. And my main thing is getting them to profit, PROFIT, in their purpose. And we love also being able to help them find new streams of income and how to make money. So I'm excited to be here. As I should say, I pastor here in Jacksonville, Florida as well. I think we met at Bethel as well, but I pastor here as well. So I'm excited and about our project. And I love Rosemary Winbush. She's a dear friend of mine, and we work together on many projects. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity to share.
Thank you, Dwan. Rosemary, Pastor Rosemary.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Pat, for having us once again. This is a phenomenal platform. I've been watching you since you started, so it's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing as well. But I am an author, a blogger. I've been in ministry for a very long time, probably about 30 plus years. And I'm a former staffer at my church, the Bethel Church, where I was the pastor for children and preteen ministry. But I have dedicated my life to my family as well. And, I have a husband of going on 33 years. And we have 3 adult children, which we're very proud of. And we have 2 businesses, which is Kairos International and WRW International LLC. And our businesses are really tailored toward helping people develop better living, better lives in their career path, better living in professionalism, and just better living in community. And so we just really worked hard to do that over the years. For me, I love to write. I love helping people, do a lot of mentorship training for women and for students as well. But that's been really a core of what we've been about for all these years. It's really just working with people, helping them find their divine purpose. I've gotten a lot of awards for doing things for children advocacy. and also just helping in our community with schools and special programs tailored toward families. So right now, I'm just really embarking upon more about helping families because I believe that they are the core of who we are and in our community. So I'm just honored to be here. There's so much more that I could tell you, but we'll get to that later. But thank you so much for having me.
We certainly will, Rosemary. So let's just get right to it.
Yeah.
So you guys have been, as Dwan mentioned, working on several projects together. You can share those with us, but specifically talk to us about I call it a guide or a very referenced book, Commanding Your Resources. And let me get the title, Commanding Your Money, Financial Profit Declarations to Live By. That is just very intriguing to me. So tell me about Commanding Your Money, Financial Profit Declarations to Live By, and why now? Why did you feel it important to pen this guide or book? Either. Take that.
Well, I'll start it out. This has really been a project over probably a 7 or 8 month period of time. We did a webinar to help other people write their books, and so we said let's just do this along with them. But Dewan had these declarations that she was saying at her church, and one time I got one of the cards, which I kind of have right here, but they were really powerful. It was about speaking what God says over our finances and really believing what he was saying. So it was pretty much putting God to the test, as he says we can do regarding our money. And, in the Bible, it talks about money more than 2,000 plus times. So God has something to say about it. And so it's talking about what the results of money is and what we can do with it. So we decided, or I said to her, you should really write a book about this. And she said, I'll do it if you help me. So we began the journey. And then this is what the results came from it, all of this collaboration and talking about it, but really putting God to the test when it comes to our money.
And you know what? When we first got started, I remember every time she would come to church and I would say it, I'd say, hey, let's do our financial declaration. And then after we got done, she would say, Dwan, did you write that? I was like, yeah. And I felt like it was a recurring conversation. And then I'm like, why do you keep asking me that? And then she did say, hey, you should write a book. I'm like, okay, I'll write the book. You help me write it because I just have too much to do. But I'm so glad we took the journey to do it. And then the great thing is, as we line out the declarations, we transparently tell stories about how we conquered money by really declaring over our situations, but also, making sure that we are financial stewards over what we have. But a lot of it is just about challenging people to open up your mouths and to really talk, because it makes a difference, because we understand that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and we're going to get the fruit of what we say, what we speak. So we just encourage people to really talk over their finances, especially in this pandemic season. And then just recognizing that it really does make a difference. And so I want to tell everybody, try it for 30 days. Just try it and see what happens. The funny story is also, I get people in my congregation coming up to me now saying, oh my goodness, I have people asking me for money. I said, well, we declare every week that we're lenders and not borrowers. So what do you think? Why do you think that happens?
So perfect segue. One of I read that you subscribe to, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So we've all heard that somewhere or along our journey. So how do you apply that to the declarations or what we're talking about here as it relates to finances?
Well, for me, I think that when we say life and death is in the power of the tongue, we can bless things and we can curse things. That's all around. It doesn't just apply to your money, but it does apply to your money. So the thing about it is, what are you saying about your finances? Are you speaking positive about your finances? Are you speaking negative? Or are you speaking, even for the most part, what God says about your finances? So we've got to know what the word says about when it comes to wealth, riches, and money. because those three concepts are really a little bit different. Now, we're not financial gurus or professionals in finance, but we are women who are believers in what God says, and we put him to the test. And like Dewan said, we have tested all this in our own life, and the biggest battle that we had was really in our mind. So we have to change our mindset, our thinking, and our thinking then turns into our words and our thoughts and all those kind of things. So, and getting a mindset to be a giver, getting a mindset to know that, God gives seed to the sower. And if we declare that we are sowers, then we will receive the seed to sow. But really being a part of being a giver is really the major concept of all this, because these are declarations, they're prophetic declarations that we're speaking over our money. So we have the ability to frame our world with our words. And if we don't take that seriously, we can destroy the opportunities that we may have in the marketplace to gain more and become wealthy so that we can be a blessing to other people.
Right. And I think we live in a society now where manifestation or saying that you're manifesting is huge right now. Also, speaking affirmations is huge right now. But many times, I believe people don't understand how to properly put affirmations together that are really going to help them. Also, we did this to help people understand it starts with your mindset. You have to have a positive mindset as it relates to money, as it relates to life. And if you don't believe it, there's a high likelihood that you will never see it. And many times when people, my experience has been, again, we're not financial advisor or anything like that. I have life lessons in all of this. And because I'm a pastor, my experience has been that when people grow up in poverty or in challenge surroundings, it's hard for them to come out of that and to really understand that it starts with the mind and what they see around them and believing that things can get better. And so this is just something we do every Sunday or whenever we come together. Every time we give, it's like we're speaking to our seeds, but we're speaking to our seeds about life in general, not just that one thing about finances, but about our health, our wealth. I mean, we're saying also that we expect jobs, contracts, land deals, all of those kind of things. And then to really begin to see it manifest is wonderful. But again, it's all about mindset as well.
Dewan,
yes.
You talked about mindset. You talked about your personal experiences. How did you get here? Where in your journey did this come from for you personally? Are you willing to share?
Oh yeah, I'm always willing. I'm always willing to share, and that's what I'm really known for. You know, years ago, when I was in Jacksonville, my family was having a tough time, and we were struggling financially. And we watched Dave Ramsey, and we took that. You know how Dave Ramsey is: eat peanut butter, jelly, go work at a pizza store and deliver pizzas. And so my girl's father at that time, he decided to go and apply for a job delivering pizza. Do you know they did not give him the job? And I was like, why in the world would you not get a job? How could this not happen? Do you know when I went and applied, they gave it to me? And I had to swallow all pride as well, because again, I still had a business at the time, but things were tough. And so I said, you know what, let me make the best of this. And I put on a baseball cap. People thought I was in college. And as I was driving, I said, I was in St. Johns County, we were a wealthy area. I said, you know what, let me decree that every time I deliver a pizza that I'm going to get $20 back. And do you know, as I did it, it began to happen. I remember that first time I went to this big huge house. I said, in the name of Jesus, I prophesy, declare, and decree prophetically that I'm going to get a $20 tip. And the guy said, hey there, young lady. I said, hey. He said, thanks for delivering. Here's this. And you can have this for your college. I'm thinking, I'm not in college, but I looked well. You know how we do. And that was really the start of it, when me putting it into action, that was it. And I just kept doing it. And then lo and behold, things really began to happen because I believe that.
I so appreciate you sharing that and being vulnerable. And that's the piece. This is a platform to empower people, women and women of color in particular. We have sisters on this platform in this studio, and I'm one of them, that we've all gone through a journey, right? From divorce
Yes.
to, I shared with you before we came up this morning, a friend, a college friend that just lost her husband a month ago yesterday. We were freshmen together, he and I. So now she's in this new season of trying to figure it out. She said he took the garbage out, everything from the garbage to the finances, right? So single friends, give us some declarations, if you will, both of you, that you have seen manifest, because I think sharing not only is caring, it is empowering, because we all have been taught, oh, that's our business, that's family business, don't talk about it. But this isn't being weak, this is being powerful. Talk to us about that.
Well, for me and my husband, we've always wanted to be, we really wanted to be givers. I think we have the spirit of giving. And so here's a story from us. But one of the first declarations is, I'm a purposeful believer who gives on purpose. So being a believer, we want to be givers just like our Father in heaven. So we have prayed for such a long time to be big givers in our church and our community. And, our giving is also not just money, but it's our time and our talent and our treasures. So we prayed about that. And so my husband had gone to this conference, and we tell some of these stories in the book as well. But he'd gone to this conference and he saw this guy give his whole commission check. And so he came back and he said, I really want to do that. So he prayed. And so when he got the commission check, we sowed it. We gave it out of a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice. It wasn't that we had a lot of money, that we were, living high on the hog, so to speak. But we wanted to do this as a sacrifice because we had been praying for other things. And so when we did it and he got the next check, we were able to pay for all of 3 of our children's college tuition through Florida Prepay at one time, because we had been praying for that particular thing, but we sowed in sacrifice. And then when God blessed us, we were able to share that testimony with so many people. It's not about, trying to impress anyone or try to make someone think that you're something that you're not, but it's about giving in sacrifice. So that was something that we did that was a test of our faith, to kind of give what we felt like we needed, but we wanted to sow that first fruit and making sure that it was a blessing to someone else. So that was a big testimony for us, and how God blessed us tremendously through the obedience and through sacrifice as well.
And one of the most exciting parts of the declaration that many people get excited about when we are reading it or declaring it is when we say, I'm a child, as a child of the King, I expect to experience heaven on earth and divine harvest in jobs, contracts, land deals, real estate, bills paid, houses paid off, cars paid in full, debt-free businesses, and living in divine wealth and health. And I believe the blessings of the Lord makes me rich and adds no sorrow. I mean, by the end of that, people are, shouting like they're at a football game because they really believe it. And I try to also let people know, if we declare that the blessings of the Lord makes you rich and adds no sorrow, you really got to begin to evaluate your relationships and evaluate what you think makes you wealthy, because sometimes you are thinking and decreeing something, and then you come to find out it's not anything that's bringing riches to you, it's bringing you sorrow. So you really have to reevaluate sometimes. And I believe that's what these declarations cause you to do as well.
And I believe, and you guys tell me about this, and Rosemary knows me well, so I may be off, okay? But I'm just gonna put myself out there. You said something, Rosemary. You said it's time, talent, and treasure. I think a lot of time we sell ourselves short of our talent and our time. That's money. That's power we're giving. And you got to be selective about that. And I'm in this season of trying to do a better job at that. But being purposeful and intentional. And if you're giving your time, your talent, and a lot of times, Juan, I would even submit being around powerful women and in places and spaces where maybe you don't have the treasure just yet, but you're declaring God and you're petitioning God for that treasure piece, giving of yourself, you're putting in the work. And I believe God blesses that. What are your thoughts around that?
Absolutely. I've sown so much time in so many places in this city and even outside of the city and even in other countries. I've done things in the Philippines and the Bahamas and South Africa. Just a lot of our time. And so I believe because I sow my time that God is going to reward me in some fashion or form. I'm looking for the good and what God's going to do. And I'm looking for a blessing in what he's going to do, because those are promises from him. And so if we seek out the promises when we sow into our community, into other people, into ideas and concepts that are going to benefit, I believe, the kingdom. I think that that's going to be a blessing to us. So we have to be, like we said, we want to be purposeful with our time and our talent and our treasure. We don't want to sow in a place that's not fertile. We want to make sure that it's a place that's going to bring hope and prosperity even to other people, to change lives in some form or fashion. And you're going to get a reward because of the way it makes you feel, number one, but also it's going to bring you a reward that's a heavenly, divine reward that God sees. We don't have to, like I said, be braggadocious about anything, but do it with a concept, a purpose, that you're going to spend time where you're going to give your talent to something that is going to mean something in the days to come. So you're also leaving legacy in those spaces and places where you give your time, talent, and your treasure as well.
Yeah, and I totally agree, because the word also says that as long as the earth exists, there will always be seed, time, and harvest. And so you have to look at everything that you do as a seed. I mean, I sow seeds of my time, I sow seeds of my talent, of my skill. But I also understand that I'm naming what I'm doing, and I expect a harvest in everything that I do. I expect to see that thing coming back to me. And so it's important for us to recognize when we are sowing, and it's important for us to also recognize when we should expect breakthrough, harvest, and all of that as it relates to even being able to leave an inheritance to our children's children. That's just not mystical. We believe we should be able to leave it financially, but we also believe we should be able to leave it spiritually. And even we should be able to leave an inheritance of integrity, character, and all of those things that we do. So I'm huge on sowing time, talent, and your treasure as well.
So what I hear you saying is we shouldn't be shy. We're taught to say, hey, you give with no expectation of getting back. But what it's like, no, yeah. But that's kind of the mindset that you shouldn't be a receiver. You should be a giver. And so what I hear you saying is you're not, I want to make sure I have it right. You're giving with an expectation, but the expectation isn't a quid pro quo. It's not, I'm giving it for this reason. It's bigger than that.
Yes, it's bigger than that. And I think the expectation is, I might not expect you to do anything, but I expect God to do something, because that's what he promised. And you said something so key, Pat. You said something about, we have this concept about it is better to give than to receive. But we have to look at our mindset when it comes to receiving and receiving from God, because a healthy receiving mindset will bring wealth to us as well. So if I always want to give, but I don't have a mindset that I want to receive, then I might be blocking some blessings spiritually in my thinking, because I don't have these receptors or these and my antennas up to receive. Now, it's not a greedy thing, or it's not a I want to give to get. That's not the mindset at all. But it's the mindset to know that if I do these concepts and God has promised it to me, he will bless me in a form or fashion that is going to benefit me, which could be in those wealthy places or It could be in some other space. It could be, like Dewan said, with your health, with other things. But it's more than just those principles or those tangible things. It's something spiritual. And so God wants us to be blessed in the earth. He wants us to have wealth in the earth because he wants us to take dominion and authority in the mountains that we talk about so much, these 7 mountains that we, like entertainment, business, family, education, government, whatever they may be. So he wants us, the believer, to take authority in those places. And if he says so much about finance and we are lacking, we're always talking about how, we don't have, and we're putting in our mouth things that are coming back to us. So that's the idea about what you're speaking. Guard your tongue, because you can curse yourself instead of somebody else cursing you because of the things that you say. And also, I think that if we really think about this whole concept about the mindset and how we think about finances and all those type things, we'll begin to speak better. We'll be more conscious of it and have an awareness that we should just really, really, really talk about what we want our money to do. Be intentional about it. Have a strategy for it. Because guess what? If we know that the top 3 things for prayer are relationships, finance, and wellness, that means that we're going to have some attacks in those areas. And so we've got to begin to speak well over all those 3 areas, especially our finance, because, sometimes people get sick because they're thinking about what they don't have emotionally. When it comes to finances, it can do so. When you lack a lot of stuff, it can get to your physicalness of where you are, your mental wellness, your physical wellness, relationships. We know people get into arguments about money all the time, but if there's plenty of it, and we know that we have a source of God that gives us an unlimited access to it, then it's not so stressful to us. So that's a peaceful mindset to have about it, but also to know that it's available for you to have. And if you, like Dr. Friday Stroud mentioned, that if you manage through everything for your future, when she talked about your, getting those GPAs for grades, and it produces this, so something else produces something else, and you get these job opportunities. If you were listening to her, she's really talking about the same thing, creating opportunities and taking advantage of those opportunities. And we're just saying, declare and decree what you want your money to do. So that's a big part of it as well.
I love, if you're able to look at the chat, dear friend Deidre Franklin put in the chat, we give from the heart and God gives to us the harvest based on our heart giving. And that's what I hear you ladies saying.
Yes.
That's what I hear you saying. So that, go ahead, Dwan. You want to?
Yeah, I was just going to concur with all of that, saying we recognize, it's all about a motive. Our motive is not to get it, but we still have to make sure that we name our seed and have a life where we live with expectations. And some of this just boils down to basic farming and seed time and harvest. And some of this we learned from Rosemary Winbush, who says who we know lived on a farm. So you can't plant a seed and not expect. The seed always has a name, doesn't it, Rosemary?
It does. It does.
And so, I'm teaching on that. We're starting a series on that this month called Manifest Your Harvest at my church. But the other thing that I love is the scripture, Psalm 118, 24, 25 says, "This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Save, oh now, God, send now prosperity." He wouldn't tell us to decree send now prosperity if he didn't have it in mind for us.
So the 5th Sunday is dedicated to the youngins. This is not the 5th Sunday. But what would you say to your 20, 30-year-old selves if you could go back just a few years and you could talk to her? What would you say to her around this topic, this powerful topic of finances? And Rosemary, you just said we pray for top 3, relationships, finance, and wellness. Number 2, finances. What would you say as you contemplate career moves, as you take jobs, and negotiate salaries? And I know for me, I'll throw myself under the bus. My first job, they were sending me credit card applications like crazy. I was like, well, if they're sending them to me, I must be eligible. I'll get that Nordstrom's card. I'll get that Neiman Marcus and that Burdines. Anybody remember Burdines? I didn't live in cities with a Neiman Marcus, but I had a card, and that gets you in a world of a mess. So what would you say that 20 and 30-year-old, if you could talk to her right now?
Well, for me, I would say stay out of debt. Those credit cards, get away from them. And that's something that we talk to our children about so much. Debt is it's really a chain. It's, we say we're slave to the lender is slave to the borrower is slave to the lender. And so we don't want to be in that position. Sometimes we do get in debt for certain things, like maybe if you need a car, you need a house, but don't get in debt over material things like clothes and shoes and hair and nails and food, because some people use credit cards to go and buy and eat out at restaurants all the time. But the key thing I would say is have a plan. Have a plan about where you want to be. It's almost like going back and saying, writing those goals. Have a plan for your money. Have a plan for your destiny, your future finances, and stay away from debt as much as you can. And as soon as you get in debt, have a strategy to get right out of it. So don't have debt a part of your living lifestyle. That would be one thing. And then I would also say, connect with people who are winning in finance. Surround yourself with people who know financial language, who are maybe doing some different things, whether it's investing, being an entrepreneur, having multiple streams of income. We see so many of the young people right now, they're doing so many different things. They have multiple streams of income, some of them. But if everything that you have, everything that you can put your hands to, the Bible says in Deuteronomy, it will prosper. So you have to ask yourself, what are you putting your hands to? And what are you expecting when it comes to prosperity? So connect with people that are winning in finances. And I think the last thing would be to be a giver. Don't just think about yourself, but think about what you can do to bless someone else. And we already talked about how you can give in your time, talent, and your treasure. And don't compromise your faith as you're doing this giving. Don't compromise what God has promised you. Don't compromise what you believe in, because it's going to get you to that place where you want to be, and you're going to have such great peace, and you're going to enjoy the journey as you get there, because it's always this learning process that we go through.
I would say ditto. But probably two things that I think about. I would also tell myself to keep the money moving, meaning find great ways to invest that will cause my money to grow faster than just sitting in a bank or sitting in a savings account. Keep the money moving, and also stay connected to the right people in the right financial brackets. I think so many times we get God-ordained opportunities to meet certain people, but we do a bad job with follow-up, or at least I do a bad job with follow-up. I'm just not the follow-up person, and technically I'm an introvert. But so I would really tell that to stay connected to the people that God puts in your life, and really learn the art of networking and following up for your future, because it's going to impact your future. And then last but not least, I just always say, even as it relates to money, finances, relationship, believe what people do, not necessarily what they say. Believe what they do, because they're doing what's in them to do. Right, DJ, cash flow is king.
Believe them the first time when you see what you see.
Oh my goodness.
Believe it the first
We always
time.
want to believe the best, but I'm like, oh my goodness, believe what these folks do.
That's right. That's right. So people have already purchased your books. They're doing it right now. But for those of us that haven't done that yet, how can we get this guide? We need it. What do we do?
You just go to Amazon.com. You go to Amazon.com and you stick in Commanding Your Money, and we will pop up. The Kindle version is there, and also the paperback. And we're going in my studio real soon. I have a studio here in Jacksonville. We're going in there to record the audio version of that as well. And we're excited that right now in the new releases, Amazon Hot New Releases, I looked it up this morning. We're still in the top $50 for the paperback and the Kindle, and I have another book up there as well. So I'm excited, and we want to thank you for this opportunity, and thank all of you women sisters who are purchasing and investing. We're just excited about what we believe is going to be more than a movement, more than a book.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not a moment. It is a movement. It is more than a book. It is a mindset. And it's the proverb, you can give someone fish or bread or seeds, but if you teach them how to harvest, then that's where the real blessing comes, and you can feed a nation, not just one person, right? And that's what you ladies are doing, sowing seeds. So again, on the Sistah Covenant, you can also go to this link and you can purchase this book. And we're going to encourage our audience, and we're going to invite you ladies back again so we can hear all the wonderful things that you are doing in the harvest and the seeds that are being not only planted, but are manifesting out of your transformational work. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Rosemary, we have a treat coming up. So stick around.
Yes.
We will be talking a little bit after this conversation. So you must join these ladies in the after conversation. But now we have two very special, powerful women get vaccinated PSAs, and you may recognize the last name of one of these young women. So as always, my sisters, be bold. Be brilliant, be brave, my sisters, and beautiful, and be blessed.
Well, I'm Kim Lee. I am vaccinated, and the reasons that I'm vaccinated for COVID-19, twofold, both selfless and selfish. The selfish reason, as the founder of the Sistah Covenant often promotes and says, that airlines tell us to put the mask over your nose and mouth first so that when it's time, if needed, you could help your neighbor. The selfless reason is just for that we are our neighbor's keeper. There's some scripture that says there's no greater love than a man to lay down his life for a friend. This life's journey is not about what we can do for ourselves, but what we can do for each other. So it's the social responsibility that we have to humankind worldwide, and it's the personal responsibility that we have for our own well-being. As a woman, I am so elated to have the opportunity to listen and adhere to the science and to respond accordingly. As powerful women, together we win.
Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Winbush. I am 24 years old, and as a young person living currently in a multi-generational household with parents who are in their 60s and a grandfather who was in his early 90s, I felt like it was necessary to get vaccinated just because of the protection that it offered both me and the people that I care about, that I live with. I know that as people, as citizens in this world, we are all living with this pandemic, and it's important to realize that we are a part of the solution. It's bigger than us, and it's important that we can play our part to get vaccinated and help achieve a solution in a world where COVID-19 has dissipated. So we know that powerful women get vaccinated. Together we win.